Ladies and gentlemen, I have immense pleasure in welcoming His Excellency, the President of Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf, to the third India Today Conclave. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of Pakistan.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. You've got an audience here which is in a very good mood after the cricket match.
We are also in a good mood because the match was
excellent. That's in the spirit of the game.
All the ladies and gentlemen, good evening and assalamu alaikum. It is indeed my very special privilege to be addressing India Today Conclave via satellite. I only wish I was sitting in front of you and seeing you in person. I thank the organizers and the management of India Today for this invitation and for affording me this very unique opportunity of speaking to all of you. First of all, let me congratulate all of you. Let me congratulate India for the first victory after 15 years in the first one-day international at Karachi. I am very glad indeed that the match was most interesting, most well contested and extremely exciting. I am also glad that the people of Pakistan in general and the people of Karachi in particular welcomed the Indian team with a very open and a warm heart. I only hope that the series in the future, the other one-day internationals and the test matches are played in the same good, welcoming spirit that we saw today. So I again congratulate all of you for winning today a very exciting and thrilling match. Coming to the subject, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's conclave is India Tomorrow, Building a South Asia Century. I have been tasked to speak on the future of Pakistan-India relations, the opportunities, risks, benefits, my expectations from the Indian leadership, possible United States role, and my own world vision. I commend the organizers, first of all, for selecting such an apt subject bearing immense relevance to the region, particularly at this time. I wish this conclave success in the deliberations and pray for a prosperous South Asia through bridging mutual differences. Ladies and gentlemen, quite clearly, as the theme and its elaboration imply, realization of a South Asia century requires collective will and application. India cannot go it alone. The hurdle in the application of this collective will indeed comes from continued Indo-Pakistan confrontation. Before getting involved in regional emancipation and bilateral conflict identification and resolution, I would like to share my overall global vision as I am required to do. Ladies and gentlemen, the 21st century is a century of globalization. The outlines of a global village are visible in all fields. It is a century of geoeconomics and of interdependence. While on one hand, we witness the start of integration of the world for the sake of human uplift, on the other hand, there is manifestation of enhanced destructive power of implements of confrontation. I am referring to weapons of mass destruction or even the increased lethality of conventional weapons, rendering war an extremely dangerous and a very costly undertaking. Within these opposing realities, we also see the world fragmented, torn in conflict. Short of war, low-intensity conflict has seen the introduction of suicide bombing phenomenon, which provides a new and a very lethal weapon in the hands of a terrorist or a freedom fighter, whichever side of the divide you look from, compensating for military and political weakness. Looking at each conflict in the last 2 decades, unfortunately, they all involve Muslim countries, all of whom happen to be at the receiving end. Muslims today suffer from a sense of deprivation, a sense of hopelessness, and a sense of powerlessness. Combined with poverty and illiteracy, this becomes an explosive mix, vulnerable to adoption of an extremist or a militant path. Thus, the world as a whole has become a dangerous place to live in. Improvement can only come through addressing Muslim concerns with justice. Within these outlined parameters, we need to look at the power equation in our region. War or military confrontation do not constitute a viable solution anymore. We must understand that the issue is not a game of numbers alone. The strategy of military coercion with numbers is inapplicable when an adversary, albeit weaker, is prepared to accept losses and inflict maximum retaliatory damage, which may be untenable to the other side. The question that arises is how to deal with this conflict-torn, hatred-infested world and meet our collective duty to bring peace to this world, our common heritage. I have proposed the strategy of enlightened moderation. This is a two-pronged strategy. One prong is to be exercised by the Muslims through rejection of extremism and militancy and opting for socio-economic development using a restructured OIC as the driving force. The other prong of this strategy of enlightened moderation is to be implemented by the West. Resolve all political disputes involving Muslims with justice. Success of this strategy, the overall strategy, indeed lies in the simultaneous success of both the prongs. After this brief look at the world, let us come closer home to our region, South Asia. We see an upheaval, turmoil in Afghanistan and Kashmir. If we can resolve these two issues, we will strike at the root of extremism and militancy, I am very sure. Pakistan is actively fighting against Al-Qaeda along our western borders in the tribal areas. We have the will and the capability to eradicate all foreigners from our country. We will not allow Al-Qaeda to maintain sanctuaries in Pakistan and operate outside Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kashmir issue lies at the heart of Indo-Pakistan confrontation and hence is also the source of disunity of South Asia as a whole. As a result, SAARC has merely existed on the periphery of impotence. We saw a visible and a very pleasant change in the last SAARC summit held at Islamabad. This was momentous, not only for the thaw in Indo-Pakistan relations, but also for signing of SAFTA, which is a big leap towards free trade within our region. It is said the past belonged to Europe, the present to America, and the future to Asia. Within Asia, we see Northeast Asia, East Asia, China, and Southeast Asia cooperating fully for mutual economic progress. South Asia and Central Asia sadly remain out of this prosperity loop, may I say. Quite clearly, common wisdom dictates intra-regional cooperation within SAARC and also ECO, the Economic Cooperation Organization, first, followed by inter-regional integration with the rest of Asia for joint benefits to our region. Pakistan's geography provides the critical linkage between the three regions of South Asia, Central Asia, and West Asia. Indo-Pakistan rapprochement unleashes the entire economic, commercial, trade potential of this whole region. Undoubtedly, the whole scenario provides a strong case for resolving disputes, ushering an era of peace by joining hands for socio-economic development of our people and of our region. India and Pakistan must bury the past and chart a new roadmap for peace. I believe people of both our countries desire peace, and may I also add, are fed up of confrontation. This is evident from the welcoming response to the CBMs of the past 1 or 2 months. Revival of sports ties with the tour of the Indian cricket team. Finally, they say it's better late than never. And the forthcoming SAF games indeed augur well for the promotion of people-to-people contacts. And we are witnessing this good contact during the one-day international today at Karachi. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan and India have lost half a century in mutual squabbles. Let us face it. We have fought wars, tested nuclear weapons, and have remained engaged in very hot confrontation throughout. Today, South Asia is nuclearized. It is brimming with lethal weaponry. Huge acquisitions of arsenal and sophisticated weapon technology make our region one of the most dangerous flashpoints in the world, and it is of greatest concern to the world. South Asia also constitutes one of the most impoverished regions of the world. Social indices are appalling. Millions live in dire poverty, misery, and disease. At the center of this dismal scenario is the spiraling vortex of Pakistan-India animosity. Kashmir, they say a paradise on earth, is the core issue that has bedeviled our relations throughout this half a century. Kashmir is the central issue that awaits a just and durable settlement. If Pakistan and India could settle Kashmir in accordance with aspirations of the Kashmiris, a new chapter in our troubled history will begin. This is very much possible if all parties are sincere in their quest for a just and durable peace through a solution acceptable to all of us, not to one single country. I have proposed a 4-point process whereby talks commence, centrality of Kashmir dispute is accepted, all solutions not acceptable to either of the three parties are taken off the table, and the remaining options, the one deemed most feasible and acceptable is chosen. I believe nothing could be fairer than this. A solution will emerge if all sides are mindful of the problem, if all parties, especially Kashmiris, are given the opportunity to have their due say and are associated with a credible, sincere, and serious quest for a final settlement between Pakistan and India. I do not want to speak about history. The political and legal history of Kashmir is well recorded and well documented in the archives and resolutions of the United Nations. All that I urge is, let us be pragmatic. Let us learn to accept hard facts. The issue of Kashmir is at the center stage. We cannot deny it. It must be resolved in an equitable and honorable manner, acceptable to India, Pakistan, and Kashmir. And I repeat, to India, acceptable to India, Pakistan, and the Kashmiris. We are not talking of a solution acceptable to Pakistan alone. I wish to assure you that we are determined to take 2 steps forward if India takes 1 step and chooses to embark on a realistic quest for a just and durable peace with Pakistan on the basis of sovereign equality. India will find Pakistan sincere and responsive if it desires genuine improvement in relations. We are mindful of the difficulties posed by very rigid mindsets in the past. We must persevere. But if there is no movement towards a solution, I am afraid everything will slide back to square one. Let us look at the very broad benefits from peace accruing to both our countries. Maybe this serves as a motivation towards normalization. On trade, our market size will expand to 1.2 billion, equal to China, opening vistas of trading opportunities within the region. The foreign direct investment, which presently stagnates at $3 billion, could increase manifold. China attracts $40 billion. Access to alternate energy, natural gas from Iran and Central Asia, can become available to the region, bringing down energy costs by at least 50%. And may I say, India may be the maximum beneficiary. Tourism can flourish. The region has a vast treasure of tourist attractions, not only for the domestic, but also for the international tourists. Combined regional tours could benefit us all. Reduction in defense expenditure could take place. This will lead to availability of funds for social sectors and poverty reduction. And lastly, sports activities could be enhanced. Through mutual sports, India and Pakistan could regain their lost glory, at least in cricket and hockey. We must beware, however, ladies and gentlemen. There are extremists on both sides who would try to derail the peace process. We must not be deterred from our path and be prepared to deal with them with an iron hand. In fact, in our own supreme interests, we must negotiate peace boldly, as if there are no detracting extremists. And we must also deal with all extremists boldly and firmly, as if there is no peace initiative going on. The joint statement, ladies and gentlemen, reached at Islamabad between me and Prime Minister Vajpayee provides a good framework for a relationship of harmony and mutual respect. The CBMs already initiated have generated tremendous goodwill. The Foreign Secretary level talks have further inched dialogue process forward. The composite dialogue scheduled for May and June this year should augur well for our future relationship. In this garden path that is very visible, I would be remiss if I did not strike some words of caution. Firstly, there is simultaneously a linkage between CBMs, the confidence building measures, and the composite dialogue. CBMs cannot outstrip dialogue process on all substantive issues, including Kashmir. Secondly, Kashmir dispute can never be sidelined or ignored. No leader in Pakistan can do that. We must move forward towards its resolution in tandem with the CBMs. And lastly, while talking of Kashmir, sooner or later, Kashmiris must join the peace process to make the solution practicable. Ladies and gentlemen, progress on dialogue towards serious resolution of disputes should set us thinking on other more substantive confidence building measures. Why can't our defense expenditure be cut down? It certainly can. Pakistan is not in an arms race. We maintain a quantified force level based on a perceived threat and a strategy of minimum deterrence. With the enhancement of firepower of weapons, which I spoke of earlier, firepower of conventional weapons, we are already reducing our strength, the strength of our army by 50,000, may I tell you, may I inform you today. We had kept our defense budget frozen for the last 4 years, knowing fully well that our deterrence strategy is in place. India has to review its own strategy, because your defense force levels, may I say, are not based on threat, but on your own power projection. The latest multi-billion-dollar acquisitions and your vastly enhanced budgetary allocations to defense take you in that direction of power projection. In any case, Pakistan will remain amenable for mutual, proportional reduction of forces. Ladies and gentlemen, I honestly feel that the present time is ideal for resolution of all disputes and ushering in an era of peace, harmony, and prosperity. The people of our countries want it. The influential business community is eagerly looking forward to it in both the countries. I've interacted with many business leaders of your country. The media also seems to favor it. Where lies the stumbling block then? I am afraid it lies with the leadership alone. Leaders on both sides have to be sincere to develop confidence and trust in each other. They have to be flexible enough to reach mutually acceptable solutions to previously intractable disputes, and bold enough, they ought to be bold enough to bulldoze all opposition and risks en route to peace. We have to show enough maturity to be able to resolve disputes bilaterally within a reasonable timeline. It is only our failure which then invites third-party mediation or facilitation or involvement or encouragement. You can choose the word yourself, because I know there is some kind of an allergy to the word, to the term mediation, probably in your country. The US, being the sole superpower in a unipolar world, has a responsibility for bringing a just peace in the world on all disputes for our future generations. Their involvement towards resolution of the thorny Kashmir dispute will be of value only if we get stuck ourselves. So if we make bilateral progress, there is no need of outside interference or involvement. As responsible nuclear weapon states, we must demonstrate to the world that we have the courage and the conviction to settle our problems in a civilized manner. We must demonstrate the courage and wisdom to write a new chapter of peaceful coexistence and mutually beneficial cooperation. I find distinct warmth in the sentiments in Pakistan and India to engage constructively with each other. May I add that the people of both countries and the media can certainly play a very important role in improving the environment, paving the way for the settlement of all disputes, including the Kashmir dispute. Respect for basic principles of interstate conduct, developing relations based on sovereign equality are the safe and sure foundations within which Pakistan-India relations can thrive and prosper. Ladies and gentlemen, we in Pakistan look forward to sustaining the present positive momentum in our relations with India. This is a moment of hope and a moment of optimism. Let us nurture it carefully and make the process of engagement irreversible. Let us draw a balance between the vast opportunities that exist for mutual gain and the hazards of falling back to self-generated hatred, despair, and confrontation. Pakistan and India must lead South Asia to new horizons of economic development, and the other South Asian countries certainly look forward to that. The roadmap delineated for the composite talks must be filled with other pointers and timelines for joint endeavors to resolve differences and disputes. It should not take long to fashion together a roadmap to progress and prosperity, reinforcing and utilizing the talent and the genius of our peoples, using our resources optimally. I wish the India Today Conclave every success. I would indeed be very happy to answer or to take any questions from your side. I thank you all, ladies and gentlemen.